What is going on, fellas? Today we're going to test the amygdala. We had the amygdala about halfway OEM by Mr. Brad Weiss at Alabama Damascus. A really good dude, really fair to work with, good prices as well, man. He's very professional individual. If you happen to need your design made up, um, you might as well give him a talking to. Like, he mostly works with carbon steels, or actually only works with carbon steels and Damascus, like carbon Damascus. Um, so, some people might find that pretty limited. It happens to be my steel type of choice. Personally, I like carbon steels. I don't. I understand people's infatuation with stainless steels, but and I like a good stainless steel as well. But a good carbon steel will take you a long way, and it has been for a long time, hundreds of years. So we're going to test our block, and we're going to make sure we are calibrated. The number we're looking for is 63. And if we are at 63, then we are good to go. Keep in mind that no matter who you see do a Rockwell test, Rockwell is not, unfortunately, the technology of Rockwell, we have outrun as a community, where we are bickering and fighting over even a couple of points. Sometimes I say a half a point or a point, but sometimes even a couple of points, we're bickering and fighting about. And think about a Rockwell test as a Harbor Freight pair of calipers, which is fine. I own some. I use them. I'm not afraid to use them. But what we need in order to be able to suffice the community is way more accurate measuring. And I don't know if the technology exists. I do know that there's a couple of other scales, but I think the methods are pretty much the same. And what I mean by scales is that's like 62.9. We're going to roll with that. So you can just keep in mind, that's like 62.8, 62.9, something like that. Keep in mind that it's a 0.01 or 0.1 or 0.2 off to the soft side when we test a knife. Tested most of these knives, and this one is no exception. I have tested it. Most of the numbers that I've been getting have been ranging from 58 to 61. I'm going to try to keep the test in the handle area. That way when I put the handles on the knife, I got to make the handles first. And when I put the handles on the knife, that divot will be covered up. But on one of the knives that I know the buyer's not going to care, I have tested all the way through the blade to make sure it was consistent. So far, I've been happy. So we're going to test right beside that hole, because that hole was going to be covered up with the scale. And so with this one, I won't test it right beside it. We'll have a little bit of length there. But we went with 5160 on these knives. And I went over. And that's a no-no. Can't go over the B. There we go. I like 5160. You're chopping with it. It kind of has a little bit of forgiveness. I'm not a steel expert by any stretch of the imagination. I just know what I like. I've had really good luck with 5160, and I think it was a solid choice for this knife design. The original was made in 80 CRV2. So that is a 60. So keep in mind it's reading a little soft. So that could be 60.2, I suppose. But so you'll see the original hole is right here, and then the new hole is right there. We'll flip it over and we'll check it on the other side. Why do we do that? Well, it gives us another hole. Gives us another hole. We'll go south of the pinhole. just, I understand with high carbon steels and oil quenches and stuff, you know, like your variance may vary throughout the blade because the the quench might have, the pre-quench tempering, not tempering, but the what is the word, man? Austenization process when you're actually heating the steel up, even in an oven. Even in an oven, you know, you see me do some in forges, but even in an oven, it's not, you know, like it's not guaranteed to be exactly even. Like, you know, I'm talking about like 100% even all the way through the blade. That's a little over 60. Listen, man, I'm happy with that. These got hollow grinds on them, so like I'm not gonna advertise them as chopping knives. I don't care if people chop with them, but you know, like if I was going to design the knife for some heavy duty chopping, then I would have, you know, we should have left a flat grind on there. So like this would be like an amygdala slicer because it's nice and thin behind the edge. And a lot of people asked for that. They were like, man, I really like that blade design. You put a hollow grind on there, and that would be one wicked knife. I'll listen to you. We put a hollow grind on there, and we got it at 60 H.R.C. and this is 5160. And I couldn't be happier. So anyway, they're not available yet. I'll let you know when they're available. And you guys have a good one. We'll catch you on the flip side.